Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Jupiter and Saturn both turning direct this month of September. Jupiter will turn direct on September 13th at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, and Saturn will turn direct September 29th at 1 degree of Capricorn. Now, both Jupiter and Saturn, these are called the social planets. They deal with social events, the people, the masses. They deal with the economy, especially together. And looking at where they've been retrograde tells us a lot about things that haven't been progressing properly. So Saturn being in Capricorn, they actually say in Vedic astrology that when a planet's retrograde, it's looking to the sign before. But when it turns direct, it's in that sign. So Saturn pretty much is looking back. I wouldn't say particularly, and I don't feel like this is actually the effects that it gives, but some believe that Saturn being retrograde in Capricorn is looking back at Sagittarius, whereas Jupiter being retrograde in Sagittarius is looking back to Scorpio. I don't feel like these effects are valid, but I do feel like I do know that when a planet's retrograde, it's not progressing. It's not giving forward motion. It's sort of like delayed. There's setbacks and problems. But whatever that planet's about is what needs to be reassessed and reanalyzed and checked out. And the sign that it's in, I think, is most pertinent. So in other words, Saturn being retrograde in Capricorn is all about government affairs, is all about organization in the affairs of business, government, all of the things that Saturn rules. And Saturn does rule discipline, focus, and organization. And everything's kind of disorganized when Saturn's retrograde. And it's not necessarily good for business. For business charts, it's best to have Saturn and Jupiter direct. But the problem with that is when both Jupiter and Saturn go retrograde, they're retrograde for 5 months. 5 months. And then they're direct for almost the same amount of time, but pretty much a little longer. But that retrograde process can really have some detrimental effects on the economy when you have both Jupiter and Saturn going backwards. So even though the stock market's been very volatile up and down, but most of all, it's coming up from a real big crash and downpour that happened in March, the last day of March. And actually, I'll tell you, I predicted that day that it turned down the worst. Why do I say that? Because Saturn and Mars conjoined on March 31st in Capricorn caused the stock market to fall. And I told everyone, if you go back to my videos, I said now's the time to invest in the stock market. So I hope you took my advice if that's your thing and you enjoy investing. Aside from all that, though, Saturn being retrogrades caused a lot of withdrawal from things. And Jupiter being in the sign of Sagittarius has really misconstrued a lot of people's beliefs about things and their spirituality. There's been a setback and a delay concerning Jupiterian things, which is philosophy, spirituality, which is law, which is truth. All these things have been misconstrued, and none of this has really come to the surface. We don't have the truth, we don't have balance, we don't have the laws are all in disarray. Who knows what's right, what's wrong right now? Everything has kind of backtracked into a backwards motion. But now it's about to change. So with Saturn going direct in Capricorn at 1 degree, now let me just tell you another thing. If you have a planet that is 1 degree of Capricorn, or even it can be in Cancer, you're having a rough time. Let me just say that, because Saturn is not just crossing over that planet. Saturn is standing still, and it caused all sorts of setbacks, delays, and complications. So watch that. If you have any planet, and actually Saturn's special aspects is 3 signs away from where it is and 10 signs away. So the conjunction, which would be 1 degree of Capricorn, the opposition, 1 degree of Cancer, and 3 signs away from where Saturn is in Capricorn, it'd be Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So 1 degree of Pisces is getting hit by Saturn. And if you go back to, or all the way around to 10 placements from where Saturn is, it would be at 1 degree of Libra, because Libra is the cardinal sign. So if you have a planet at any of those at 1 degree of those signs, you've been hit hard. And Saturn's standing still. Saturn will cause some setbacks, delays, some complications, but at the same time, it's something that needs to be addressed and changed. And with that, things will move forward. You will learn through discipline, focus, and hard work. Remember, Saturn is the taskmaster, but Saturn gives through hard work and discipline. So if you've put in the hours and you've worked hard, you will get payment, and it will be much more rewarding, because Saturn transits are the ones that are going to give the best feeling, and a feeling of accomplishment and success, but only through difficulty. It is Saturn. So you're going to find that things are going to start moving forward, especially things that have been on hold for so long. So this means the whole coronavirus thing is about to end. Things are about to move forward. I'm not going to say overnight. This is a process, but we're going to start seeing hope with these 2 planets moving forward. Now, Jupiter is going to turn direct on September 13th, and it will be at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. So Jupiter, if you have a planet at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, you're in great luck. This means expansion. This means a feeling of optimism. So Jupiter expands and it gives opportunities, optimistic. And it loves to be in the sign of Sagittarius. This is expansion, bringing the truth out, bringing spirituality out. This is the time that things will change and make a turnabout, because Jupiter actually was riding over this degree around February and March before this brought on this pandemic. But now I think it's about the time where we're going to start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that we're going to have our freedom back. Remember, more than anything, Jupiter's freedom. So as it moves direct, all these things are granted again, especially because it's in Sagittarius. It's a sign of rulership, extraordinarily strong, loves to be there, and it's going to bring out the truth. But what degrees are special with this? If it's 23 degrees of Sagittarius, then it's going to be 23 degrees of Gemini that's going to be affected too. The oppositions are the same as a conjunction in Vedic. Cast its light fully and completely to that sign. So if you have a planet or an ascendant at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, Gemini, and the other fire signs, Aries and Leo. If you have a planet at 23 degrees of Aries, 23 degrees of Leo, this is your lucky time. This is the time that Jupiter will stand still for an entire month and grant its blessings and opportunities to you in accordance to whatever house this planet resides in. So finally, we're going to have planets that have been hung up and retrograde and causing all sorts of backlash and problems moving forward this month. And moving forward, things are going to start coming to fruition. You're going to see a massive change. Light at the end of this dark tunnel while we've been dealing with this virus pandemic for 2020. Now we're going to see hope. Now we're going to see light. And it's because, first of all, these two planets that represent the social world, they represent the masses, they represent the economy and government. Things will start to make sense, move forward. We will see the truth and we will see the light. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like to sign up for my free newsletter, find out more about me, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to learn Vedic astrology with me, join our community of astrologers. Go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.